Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yesije Brand Bravo, CEO Bravo Shoes. It's a great pleasure once again talking to you about things that inspire, motivate, and uplift your life in whatever we do. Yes, as I told you, we always have some different discussions with different people, myself, the youth, and some people that have made different things out there that you yourself can also be inspired to start. And as I always tell you, starting is always the now. Once you determine yourself, you're able to start in whatever circumstances you're in, no matter the situation, you start. Together with me, we have two young, energetic youth. We have Pauline and we have Solomon. We'll be discussing, the impact of youth in our society, what the youth can do to change the lives of others. Of course, they are youth. Few years, they are leaving the youth age. So, what have they learned? Both of them are still in school, and they are finalists. Solomon is a finalist at Makerere University, civil engineering. Pauline is a lawyer to be, because she's also a finalist. We're going to listen to them about how best they can be able to impact their own age group. Pauline, good to see you, and
Thank you.
tell us, how have you been? How's your life? What is happening? As soon you're going to be finishing your university, your law course. We need to hear from you guys. What has gone wrong? And what is happening?
Well, firstly, I'm so happy to be here. And like you've heard, my name is Pauline Study. I'm a final year student of law, and I'm the CEO of a hair brand called Dano Natural Hair Products. And I also have a YouTube channel. It's called Pauline Study. So basically, a lot has been going on, especially in this pandemic. School hasn't been going on for every single person. Like, very many people are not in school, except for those who are doing online. But it's more like you're even not studying because you're always home, and you can decide not to attend a class. Basically, a lot has been going on. But the biggest thing is that most youth who have been in school have not been studying. So they're looking for a way they can be able to sustain, because most of these people are getting their money from their parents. So they need to find a way how to make their money, how to work, how to get into the specialty they want to go to, like in terms of their career. So those guys want to be lawyers, those guys want to be engineers, those want to be accountants, whatever it is. So they're trying to look for a way they can be able to do that, because it's almost like a day job, because there's nothing that's been going on. So people have not been studying, people have not been doing internship, people have not been doing anything, basically staying at home. So a lot has been going on. So, and for me, in my own life, I think a lot of this all transpired, because at least I've been able to kickstart my brand, something that I wanted to do at the beginning of the year. But then because I had school, and because I wanted to empower people, like stop going to salons, stop buying substandard things, those things. So I really wanted to do that, because it's not always about the money, because I think I can go by if I don't make money in a certain month with my hair brand. But for as long as I'm able to talk to people about it via my YouTube channel, via personal consultatives and all that kind of stuff, I feel like this is very satisfying to me, and I think that's what some people should look up to. But a lot has been going on.
Is it because of COVID? Is it because of COVID that... because look at this, and a lot of lessons have been taken up because of COVID-19. Is it because of COVID-19 that you've taken up this to start up a hair brand? And what inspired you to start a hair brand? I need to know that. Among all other things, you're a lawyer. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be in the chambers. You want to be, doing things that concern law. Among all things, why did you pick up hair? And what inspired you? Did you look at somebody? Did you just tell us?
So, firstly, it's not Corona that made me start my hair brand. No, I wanted to do this like way back. And yes, I really want to have my own chambers. I want to have my own law firm. But then people should not get lied to that you're only going to make money in your career. No, that's not true because things have changed. Technology is taking over the world. So online was a thing, and I feel like that was a blessing for me because I didn't imagine myself having to start a shop and having to sit in there or having to have someone retail my things because I don't want people retailing my things. So Corona wasn't that thing that made me start, but it was a very nice opportunity for me because that's where I was able to reach out to very many people online because I there was something hard about being physical with every single person, having to have a shop, having to wake up all the time. I need to have so many things. The fact that I'm also a debater, so I was a lot of stuff. So I have a debate, I have to look up something. Someone is asking me about something, and then someone wants hair. That's a lot of things to do at the same time. So Corona wasn't that thing, but it opened the door for me. I already had this dream a long time ago, but it opened the door for me. And because I'm not going to realize everything I want through law school and after law school, I need another door to open. That's why I started a hair brand. So because I want to empower people, ladies, stop treating their hair, to stop wasting a lot of money, going to the salon and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, basically. So it wasn't Corona that made me
Great.
begin.
Yes. As you see, she tells people that you shouldn't waste money doing your hair. Probably she has a solution for what she uses, because I know what she uses also she buys it, so you have to spend money. So you can see the power of branding, how she's trying to brand herself, and once again, her brand is called
Dahanon Natural Hair
Dahanon Natural Hair Products. You can look for it on Facebook, you can look for it on Instagram, and on her YouTube as well. What does it mean? She's trying to do her best. At her age, she's trying to do her best. She's trying to multitask. Yes, she has a profession. She's gone to a school, but she's also into a hair brand, and I'm very, very inspired by such age that they are able to look beyond our expectations, as the masses look at us. Solomon, you're a civil engineer to be. You're a finalist at Makerere University, isn't it? And what do you think, Solomon? What have you thought about? She's told us she has a brand, that's called a brand. You, as a youth of engineering, are you getting out of school and you start doing nothing? What have you prepared as you're finishing your university? What have you put in place? Or what do you think you start on to make sure that you're able to also be in the system? Because as you finish school, you must know that it's a system you're entering. It's a new system. It's a new family. It's a new generation that you'd have started after university. What do you think? Or what has gone wrong, even that is stopping other people from doing what they're supposed to do?
Okay, well, first of all, I thank you again for hosting me on your channel. You posed the question about what I'm doing or what I'm looking up to, something about branding. See, there are 7 billion people in the world, and we can't have 7 billion brands.
Yeah.
So, not everyone can be a CEO, not everyone can start their own brand that will ultimately make it. So some of us have to work with the existing brands. Like now she has hair products, you're into shoes, and it's not a must. It's not mandatory that I must start a brand. But when it comes to personal branding can come in the spheres of your talents, your skills, your abilities, what you can do. When you're not in a place, can they miss you? Will they be able to say, okay, well, if Solomon was here, you would have helped us to do this. But to reply to your question about what am I looking up to, about what, and also what is wrong with our generation. First of all, my principles have always been 2. Principle number 1, acquire knowledge in a diversified fashion. Make yourself diversified. Be sure that you can at least know something about at least everything, current affairs, global affairs, what is happening in society. Because when you know what is happening, like you two who are so much interested in brands, when you know that at least this ABC is missing in society, you have identified the gap, you have identified a virtue where you can start on something and actually go on to make it. You see, on was it? I think it was Thursday. Friday. On Friday, I attended a lecture, and my lecturer happened to say, whenever you're starting something, or starting any business, or starting a company, make sure you are answering to some problem. You are solving a problem. You don't just come and start something far.
Actually, they say, just for information, they say that if you want to be $1 million richer, you solve 1 million problems with only $1.
Exactly.
Once you solve 1 million problems with $1, then you are able to become $1 million richer person.
Yeah, you should be able to be solving a problem. So, and that can only come when you are knowledgeable, when you are aware about what is happening in society. That's my first principle. My second principle has always been never to allow any money-making opportunity to bypass you. Whenever, wherever, whatsoever. Never allow any money-making opportunity to yes. You just said secure the bag. Yes, secure the bag.
Yes.
Under whichever circumstances. You see, when this pandemic came, most of our livelihoods were stifled. Most of us were put on forced hold. Schools were closed, churches were closed, everything was closed, malls were closed. But now, so there we had to look deep within ourselves and find out what we can do, how we can add value to ourselves. And it was during this time that I started writing. I now write with the Brink News.
Yeah.
The Brink News is an online news outlet, and we do some writing. I go to them, I talk to my friend who was part of the team, and he added me. And because I could write, I've been able to get into that system and also do some writing, develop that skill of mine that I believe I was gifted naturally by God.
Only that you didn't tell people that yes, you do blogging as well for Bravo Shows. He's about he does some sub part of blogging for our website. If you want to look at some very good articles of the updates, he's trying to do to be a shoe enthusiast. Shoes enthusiasts. If you're there and you're a shoe enthusiast, then deal with someone so that you can be able to know what shoe enthusiasts do.
And of course, by the time you approached me to request me to start writing for Bravo Shoes, of course, it had to come after myself trying to develop that skill, and it started from the drinking. So once I produced those beautiful writings, try to supply my content, my craft, people like you got to know about me, and they gave me the opportunity to go on and do some writing for them. And also another thing is about, I was going to talk about not letting any money-making opportunity bypass you. It was also during this lockdown that I got in touch with even this very place where we are, Pink Cloud UG. I worked with them for 1 month. They were doing some little bit of marketing, so I also worked with them. I've worked with very many other brands in as far as marketing is concerned, digital to be particular. So wherever you are, under any circumstances, once you identify an opportunity of making money, just do it. Never let it. Those are my tips.
The youth interest me so much because when you meet in the youth, they will tell you about money, and is life about money? Why are you chasing money as the youth all the time? Why are you chasing the money? Because she talks about money, talk about money. Probably to me, I talk about money in a secondary way. Is the mission, is our purpose in this world about money? What do you think? Because, sometimes the youth out there, sometimes our focus becomes money. And as I've been telling these young men, that the more you chase money, the more money runs away. The more you chase it, the more it goes further. Is it about money? Why is it about money? Because every youth is looking for money. And you've seen that whenever you put money first, to me I would call it that the moment you put money first, it will create you a lot of challenges. Greed comes in, anger, foolishness, because you do whatever it takes for you to get money without minding about other people, without minding society. As long as they have given you a deal of money, so you're running to chase the money. You're running to pick the money. Pauline, is it about money? Why is it about money? The young generation, why is it about money?
Well, firstly, I'll talk about my own perspective. I'm a person who is not always looking out for money. However, please, money is not going to bypass me when I'm looking. Okay? So I'm not a person who is going to do every single thing it takes to chase for the money, but I'll not let it slip by. Because you realize, even the Bible itself says it, you must have money to be able to get some things, but too much money, too much love for money is a source of evil. But the thing is, I think why so many youth want money in their lives is because they don't want to go through what the current old generation is going through, because most of them are just starting to get money right now, and everything is like becoming so costly. And because I think it's basically because they don't want to, they feel like people, for example, our parents have gone through a lot and they don't want to be suffering like that in the future. However, it's like more of a unnecessary evil, because I've looked at how youth are being called for very important webinars, because I recently, sometime in the beginning of the pandemic, yes, I received an email. They were inviting me for a webinar. So were so many people who are copied in and what. So you can, when someone responds, those who respond to all the emails, you get to see their responses. So one of the responses was like, are you going to cater for my data? Are you going to give me compensation? And in my heart, I'm like, okay, Solomon just said you must be able to acquire knowledge at any time and at least have knowledge about everything. And this human being was like, are you going to compensate me? Excuse me, I'm giving you free knowledge and you actually want me to compensate you for giving you that knowledge. So it's too much, like everyone is getting so money-minded, and in as much as it's for a very vital reason, I feel like it's becoming an unnecessary evil, because I'm really tired of this thing of everyone, I need money. Oh, if you don't have money for 2 days, will you die? No, you're not. So I don't think it should always be about money, because firstly, like you've said, it's a very bad evil when someone is always focused on money, because that's why some people have been unable to continue school. That's why some people have been getting into so many ditches and all that kind of stuff, because they're trying to chase money. However, please don't just go and be like, Paula said we don't need money, and then you just leave the money. No, that's not the case. Yes, look for the money. Like me, I need to secure the bag by all means. But by all means, I don't mean that I should go for things like, if they are calling me for this, I need to first make sure they're paying me for coming just to attend. No. Unless it's something that I'm going to influence, unless it's something that I'm going to do that I need to be paid for. But because now everyone is like, I need money, you want to be like Mark Zuckerberg, you want to be like Whiskey, you want to be like Davido, you want to be like what? Yes, all those guys wanted to make money. But I don't think they would have been able to make money if money was a first focus. No. Because they wanted to make a change, they were able to make their money. Look at Zuckerberg, he's not owning Instagram too. And trust me, he didn't even think he was going to make a lot of money from Facebook and Instagram. But because later on he started thinking he could now make money from it, he's now a millionaire, actually a billionaire. So I don't think that people should always be focused about money, because firstly, you're going to end up losing the personal values. Like, I'm just going to look at you, I'm like, that one just needs money, so I'm not ready to pay. So I think that's the biggest issue. And I think youth need to change their mentality about that. Be able to do something. When you can make money from it, make the money. If you cannot, settle, be content, and life will go on.
Solomon, we've heard from Polly. She says, if you see the bag of money, secure it. But if you don't see it, what happens?
You see,
If Solomon is, we go to school, of course, to get employment. To get knowledge, and after that, we look for employment, or we start up something for ourselves. And we've always seen that, yes, the youth, of course, say, if you don't pay me this much, I will not take up the job. They have already set their standards because they have their degrees. Is it about the degree? Is it about money? What is it all about, Solomon?
you asked two questions, whether it's about, question number one was whether it's about money. Question number two was about whether it's about the degree. And I'll begin with the question of money. You see, you can stifle it, kike it, run away from it, kick it, hide, do this, but money is everything. Now, the question shouldn't be whether it's about money or not. I don't think the question should be about whether it's money or whether it's about money or not. So I don't think the question should be whether money is everything or not. I think the question should be how to make that money. You see, very many people have been obsessed with money, which is actually a good cause, which is actually not, but it's not a crime to like money, by the way. We all love money, and that's why we all wake up every single day to get into the world and look for that money. But now the question should be about what we should do to get that money. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but the real point I'm trying to bring out is money should never, at any one point in time, subdue your reasoning. It should never subdue your respect for values, your respect for norms and good conduct. You should love money. True, loving money is not bad. But whenever you're making that money, what do you have to do to get that money? The cost of getting that money is where the question should be. Because a lot of youths have gotten off the radar in search for money. They have gotten into dubious activities. They have gotten into very illegal activities. But it's because they love money. But to talk about their entry into dubious activities, most of them have actually been left with no choice, because we are operating in an environment, we are operating in a society, in a system that does not favor the growth of youths. I will keep saying it. There are very many youths that have made it out there. Very many have made themselves a name, but what did they have to do? There are very few. And using them as a yardstick to render these other youths lazy would be a disservice to these other people that have not made it. So, what kind of society are we operating in? This society is also not on our side. The system, the laws,
You know, Solomon, as you say that the system, the society, it can never be easy, as you know that as a youth, life will not just unfold itself unless you yourself come up to involve yourself in making things better. Because we always think that times change, yes, but unless you challenge yourself, it's about challenging yourself. It's not about somebody putting it easy for you as a landing field for you to be able to make whatever you want. You have to struggle through the system to make sure that you emerge the greatest. Because to me, yes, the youth want it simple. The youth want it simple all the time. It's never simple. You just need to learn that. It's never simple.
To answer that, you see, you talked about challenging ourselves. Actually, that's what each and every person says out there. Maybe I have come to a conclusion that these other people have to first come back and become youths again and actually go through what we go through in order to understand our plight. Because it's not that we are sitting, it's not that we are sleeping, it's not that we don't want to.
Let me challenge you so much. Let me challenge you so much.
Yes.
You know that I've been a youth before.
I do.
And you know that you are not the first youth.
I do.
And never shall you be a youth forever.
You see,
why do you think that you, the youth, are very special at this time? Why do you think the youth are special? What makes you special? As you call about somebody to come back to your youth to understand what you're going through. Because now, at the moment, you're a youth. Probably your parents are still taking care of you. What is more challenging that you think is making you special as youth?
I acknowledge that life is not simple. I also acknowledge that we should challenge ourselves. I also acknowledge that we need to go out there and try new things in order to be able to make it. But I surely don't think it would be fair for you to say that all is well, because look at the statistics. Huh? It's the youth who make up the biggest portion of this country. But how involved are they in running the country? Okay, well, I wouldn't want to get into that part, but how involved are they in shaping society, into shaping the societies they live in? You realize that this gap between the people that are actually shaping society, the gap between them and the youth, could be the reason as to why the existing systems are not in favor of the youth.
Let me challenge you,
once
someone.
they get involved.
Let me challenge you,
to
someone.
what extent? Wait. To
Yes.
what extent, or to what end? To how deep should they get involved? I think that should be the question.
Okay.
And involved in what?
Okay. As the youth, I always tell the youth that it all begins with you in whatever you do. We don't need to begin from very far. We need to begin from right from the societies we are in. Solomon, as a student, Pauline as a student, or as a youth, what have you done in your small localities? Because me, I believe in beginning from right where we are. You know, before you want to change the world, you need to change the environment where you are. What have you made? What changes have you made in your small circle, Pauline? What change have you made in your small circle as a youth, as a young person? You know, trying to change things before we blame. I don't want to have a blame game of other people, but you, what have you done to change the lives of your friends? Let's talk about people who follow you, people who are close to you. What change have you made?
Okay, firstly, I think I've been able to impact people around me through what I do. And also because I'm a person who likes to have this thing of self-sustenance. So I do not want to go around clinging to someone. I need this, I need that, I need what. Because one of the things, like he said, there is a lot of stereotyping around youth, and even much worse when you are a lady. Because if they're going to ask you, why do you study? I study at moves. Oh no, those are gold diggers. Why do you study? I study at UC. Oh no, those ones are hoes. Oh, why do you study? I study at MOOC. Oh no, these ones are broke. That kind of thing. I think like that's a lot of stereotyping around youth, and that's something that I really want to fight, especially if it's going to be about the gender stereotype. Because I don't think it's very, very necessary for someone to be stereotyped as someone who does not understand themselves. So they have to look for a man, they have to look for whoever they're going to look for to get the money. Because I see that on social media everywhere, and Twitter is too much. Like, it's toxic, like it's annoying, like it's every single bad thing. Like, stereotyping is not nice, especially to the youth, but more, it's actually not very nice, especially when it's around a lady. You know, you make your money, you know, you try so hard to sustain yourself, but then someone is already stereotyping you as someone who's going to always be begging because you're a woman, so you need money to buy hair products, you need money to go to the salon, you need money to get a handbag, you need money to get a phone. So for me, because of the kind of life I live, because I've been able to sustain myself, I think I've been able to impact people. Because firstly, I show them that you need to make your own money. How do I do that? I show them that you can make money through different ways. Firstly, because I do so many things, I think I've been able, like I said, through the things I do, because all these things I do is because I have talent for them and I love them. So for me to use my talent to make money, that's already empowering people, because I already have people who ask me. Yesterday I had someone asking me, so I want to start a YouTube channel, what can I do? Someone texted me today morning, oh, I'm a content creator, please, all that kind of stuff. And this is because they're seeing a way forward, because they're seeing Paula is doing this, they're seeing studies doing this, so I need to also try and do this and be able to change my life. Otherwise, I think if I was just seated in my parents' house like this, I'll not be able to change someone's life, okay? So I think because of that, and also because I didn't mention this, but I'm also a debater. So when people see you doing these things, they really think they need to wake up, okay? It's not about you having to go on your phone and start tweeting, guys, wake up, time to make the money, time to secure the bag. No, it doesn't work that way. Because you can tweet 10,000 times in a day and still not be able to make a difference. But for me, it's because, firstly, I interact with people a lot. Okay, not always like it's physical, but I do. And because I do that and I'm able to tell them, by the way, I'm doing this, and I talk about it and people get inspired. Because I have a friend, she wanted to start making candles. So she came to me, she's like, oh, by the way, Paula, I've seen you have candles. I'm like, yes, I do have them. Then my brand told can do this. So she asked me, and slowly by slowly, she's going to start making candles for sale. And I believe that's very, very nice because firstly, something I noticed, she's not very money-minded, because I told her, by the way, you're going to spend in a lot of money and you may not be able to get a lot of money from it. She's like, I don't mind. I need my brand to start. I'm like, okay, that is good. The other thing is that she's going to be able to make the money and she's not going to be always calling, mommy, I need the money. Thirdly, people are not going to keep on stereotyping her if they're already doing so, if they were planning to do so. Because society is always there to judge. Nothing else they can do. They can only judge you because they always think they're the mirror. Yes, they're the mirror, but I think a mirror of both the truth and false stuff, yeah? So for me, it's from the actions I do, from the things I do, from the how I speak to people and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's a very nice thing for me, because at least I know that some people are looking up to me because of what I do. And I think I'm able to break a certain stereotype about ladies and about the youth, especially when people are telling us, you know what, like he's saying, oh, you need to go through the system. I mean, the system is going down the drain ever since we were born. Like, things are changing and the stereotype is going so broad and so big. People are calling the youth lazy. Excuse me, we're not lazy. No. The system just does not favor us, because what he went through when he was 20 is not what I went through. I mean, those days, there was not such hustling like we are right now.
Thank you. You know, she said better. And I've proved that she said better. As they used to say, that money has lost value. As we say, times change, yes. We must accept the youth that much as we say money has lost value, money has never lost value, because it's a legal tender, okay? It's about respecting the money you have, the little you have, and you can create value out of it, okay? It's about creating value out of it. I just want the youth out there that are listening in, or anybody, it's about creating value, the little you have. If you have 100,000, and you treat with value, put value in 100,000, it becomes much money. But now we have that essence of, you know, it's not enough. 1 million is nothing. No, who tells you? 1 million can change the life of somebody out there. 100,000 changes the life of somebody out there. It's just because some of us, if you're youth that have grown up, you know, touching money here and there, then you start underrating the money. But as you underrate the value of money is where you start getting greed. I've always told the youth that there are 3 human poisons that you should know as you, the youth as well. 3 human poisons: greed, anger, and foolishness. And this comes up because people are angry for money. People have put their primary role, money. I was advising her that money should be secondary in her brand. If you put your mission of your brand as primary, then money comes secondary. It will splash out. If you look at Zuckerberg, the time he started, you know, Facebook, he was trying to connect society. His mission was to connect society. You get it? From connecting to society is where he blossomed. Is where he did the blossoming. So once we stop the greed, the anger, and the foolishness, we are able to be the greatest. We are able to be the greatest as youth. But along the way we miss it, because of course we're young. We have to spend money here and there, yes. But you may have the money, doesn't mean that you have to spend it every day. You don't have to spend the money every day. But you see, the youth are looking for money every time to spend. If you are looking for the money to save, I would be glad. And you can save any money. You can save any money. So as long as money becomes secondary to you, then money will start chasing you. But once money is primary in whatever you do, which means this is where you see corruption. Somebody goes off and says, if I'm to help you here, you must give me money. If there's no money, I can't do it. So let's do our best to make sure that we do something that changes the world, and then money will come as well. To me, that's what I would think my advice. Now, if we go back to, we want to talk about passion, Pauline. And I want to challenge each of you. Through this challenge, I want you to tell me, I wanted to understand about passion, I need you to answer me 3 questions, and that will determine your intelligence. People who are watching, I want she's a lawyer, and he's an engineer to be. She's a lawyer to be. They are in their final years at UCU and at Makerere University. Pauline, I would want you to be the first. The same questions that I'm going to pose. I want to identify your passion, and there are 3 questions. Number 1, which book would you read 500 pages without getting bored?
It's quite a weird one, but Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons, right?
Daniel Brown.
Daniel Brown. What is it all about?
Well, it's basically a one-day book. It transpires through 24 hours, and this is the guy. The focus is on a character who was a professor at a university in the US, but is consulted over an investigation into someone's death, a priest who died, and they found a tattoo on his body. So this guy was a historian into archaeology, and he had to be consulted about what could have been the meaning of the symbol and all that kind of stuff. So this book precedes the Da Vinci Code, yes. So if I recall very well, so it's into that kind of thing. So they try to investigate what killed this person. They go into the archives in Italy. They go into St. Peter's Basilica, which is the biggest church. And then they go into so much stuff, but basically because they're trying to get to know what killed this person, why was the meaning of the sign, and all that kind of stuff.
Is it investigative?
Yes, it is investigative.
Right. Yes. If you're watching, I want I'm going to identify her passion by the questions that she's answering, by the answers she's giving me by my questions. I have bombarded them, and I want to determine the intelligence as the youth. Number 2.
Yes, please.
Which job would you do 5 good years without receiving any pay?
Oh my God. Yes, that's very possible. For me, if debating was a job, I would do that. Also, I would be an advocate. Without getting money, that's very okay. That's very okay. And also doing hair consultations, that's fine. And YouTube. Yeah, those are how many jobs? YouTube, lawyering, consultation, and debate. Yeah.
I want you to give me one. Me one. What job would you do 5 good years without receiving any pay?
5 good years without receiving any pay.
One job.
Lawyering.
Being a lawyer.
Be a lawyer. Yeah.
Be a lawyer. Wonderful. Again, if you had a full financial capacity, if you had money, the money is there, Pauline. What job would you do?
Plenty.
If you had a full financial capacity, or you had the money, what job would you do?
Basically, firstly, is I would make my own law firm. Yeah, I would be an advocate. Specifically, I would love criminal offenses, and then I would grow my hair brand. Just 2 things: investing in my lawyer career and making my hair brand bigger.
Thank you so much. And I guess that out there you're able to identify her career, and I'll give you my simple conclusion of the questions that I gave her, and just wait for that. Solomon, the same thing goes to you, Solomon. It goes to you as well.
First, starting from the first question.
Yes. Now, which book would you read 500 pages without getting bored? Not even an inch of getting bored.
Now, since I don't know the number of pages every book has in the world, I would go for a book that I know, a book that I've read, a book that I liked. Personally, I like politics and conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I would read Behind the Presidential Curtain over and over and over again by Nobo Marara. He's a former bodyguard of President Kagame. He's his former bodyguard, and that book majorly talks about most of the things we don't know that happened behind the scenes in Kagame's entire career, political career, starting from here, Uganda, up to date.
Great.
I would also read In Praise of Blood. I don't know why
You
I
want
like reading
only one
about,
book.
I don't know why I like reading about her.
What job would you do for 5 good years without receiving any pay?
5 years, no pay,
Yeah.
but allowances.
5 years without receiving any pay. Which job would you do for 5 years without any pay?
Now, growing up, I liked being on TV.
You liked.
I liked being on TV.
Yes.
I grew up admiring whichever person I would see on TV.
Yeah.
I personally grew up admiring Edwin.
Yes.
Is it
Edwin
Musime?
Musime.
I
Yeah.
grew up admiring him, and I still do, because he has never grown old by
Yes.
So I would want to host any talk show that talks about things happening in society, and how society can be changed. Just that, appearing on TV, talking about that, and coming up with
You can do it free for 5 years without
Free,
receiving
5
any,
years,
any
10
pay.
years.
Wonderful. Solomon, if you had a full financial complacency, if you had money, what job would you do? You have the money. I mean, your bank account has money. It's there. Yes, scattered with money. What job would you do?
Is this money like being paid to me as
If you had money,
I
talking
do
about
that job, or it's my own
if
money?
you had money, what job would you do?
If I had money, I'd go back to farming. Farming, yes. Actually, out of 100 people you will meet, 98 people are looking for capital to go back to farming.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And yes, we've been trying to identify the passion of these youth, and of course, everybody gave us their own mind, and others, of course, as the youth, you've seen them. When I talk about 5 years without any, receiving any pay, it becomes very difficult for them to answer. But what am I trying to bring out here? I'm trying to tell you how out there you can as well identify your passion. You know, if somebody loves baking, if I'm reading a book about bakery, I'll not get bored. A book talking about recipes, I'll not get bored, because I love baking. I love cooking. I love cooking. So even if you present me in a book, it's not a burden to me, because it's my passion. I love that. If I'm to be on a job for 5 years without receiving any pay, if I'm a baker, if I'm good at baking, I'll bake my cake for 5 years and I don't care. My beauty is about looking at what I have made for people. The beauty about the cake that I've made. Because I love it. I don't expect any pay. Because I'm trying to prove my worthiness. I'm trying to bring out my potential as a youth. And then if I have a full financial complacency, if I had money, what would I do? What does this mean? I may have money and I'm still young. I'll go to the kitchen and do my baking. I'll bake my cake. I love me just looking at my cake. Looking at my cake, what I've made. Even people coming up to say, wow, the cake is beautiful. It fulfills me. It makes me happy. You get my point? It makes me happy. I am doing that, not that I must be paid to bake. I am enjoying the game. Enjoying the game. Do you get my points clearly?
I get you.
You understand it? So, enjoying the game. Yes, enjoying the game. That if she took up a case, she's a lawyer. If she took up a case in court, she'll be able to pick up somebody who is vulnerable, or somebody who cannot afford, and she says, I am going to defend you as a lawyer. Because she's passionate about seeing people, being helped, or somebody's land is being taken over. And she's like, no matter what happens, I am going to defend you without expecting any pay from this client. Because she's being brought up young, seeing that kind of life. And that's what she wants to be. And it is through that you find that the world opens up for you as the youth. You talk about your anarchism. You admire of Musime being on TV, and the fool that you can be on TV. Yes, You have talked about the book. The book you're talking about is political. Yes, you're identifying yourself. You're a political analyst. You like to analyze things. You get it. You're trying to do your best to analyze things. This is something that comes out natural of you. Probably somebody else would identify you and say, can you come and do this? And then money starts coming in. This is how we use our passions. This is how we don't have to dump our passion and then we look at chasing money all the time. This is what I wanted you to identify yourself. We can never disappoint our conscience. We know what we want always, but we always run by the wind, and we are misled as the youth. She knows what she wants. Yes, she made her brand. That's the second. You understand it?
But
yes.
You usually say,
yes,
if you can't get what you love, so you have to love what you can get. I think that's
absolutely. But you see, I want to tell you, I'm trying to, my guidance to the youth is always that let's be natural, and once you're natural, you'll blossom. Okay, and once you're natural, you're going to get the money that you want at some point. But you will not be chasing money all the time because you will not be misled. Probably you have your integrity. But once you love money too much, your integrity is compromised. Your integrity is done? Compromised. She may be a lawyer who will tell you that I will not handle this case. Probably because I know it involves a lot of mistrust. Okay? Or probably her causes of why she wants to be a lawyer is just because she loves it. And once you touch your love on that very passion that you have, it becomes more brilliant out there. This is why you see there are a lot of people out there doing things they love, and through that, they have earned a lot that we don't expect much. It's not that they're intelligent, but it's just because they have perfected what they are doing. They're trying to perfect what they love most. If you're an analyst, there's a young man I met, he's 7 years, he's an analyst. I think you've heard about him, I forgot his name. This young man goes onto TV and can analyze each and everything. You understand it? At 7 years. So if you're empowered to do that without being swayed, yes, we know we can divert. We don't have to keep in one thing, yes. But I want to assure you as the youth, we can act best in our potentials and our capacities. Our potentials and our capacities that we love. I'm talking about the natural us, okay? The natural us. If she feels she wants to be a lawyer, and it's natural in her, yes, because remember we talked about where most youth are lawyers because parents force them to be lawyers. I think we should discuss that. We need to discuss that as well again. Somebody becomes an engineer because a parent wanted an engineer in the house. And then after that, the natural us. It's not that these children are rebelling because the natural them has come. The reality has come and they find direction for themselves. I hope you guys are not going to do that, or you're not a replica of what parents needed you to be lawyers and engineers. But yes, if you have got a chance to go and study law, pass and get your law degree, and then you can always bring in your passion. So, have you understood what passion is all about? The simplicity of passion?
Yep. Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. That's
passion,
nice.
by the way, is a complex concept. But like I usually say, passion is a very complex concept. It's so hard for one to identify their passion because in most cases, passion just comes out. It just brings out itself. In most cases, especially in Uganda, actually in the world, passion brings out itself.
Actually, passion.
So sitting down and saying,
passion is natural. You must know that. It doesn't just come out. We always know what we want. We always know what we're worth. Okay? It's just because we deviate. We flow by the wind, which sometimes becomes challenging. But otherwise, passion is natural. It's a flow. It's something that flows within us.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, it brings out you don't force it.
Yeah.
You don't sit down and say, I'm going to ignite this in me and it will come out. I'm going to go to studio today and start singing and come what may, I will sing. Yeah. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Passion just comes, you just find yourself doing something, appreciating it and enjoying it and bringing out the best out of yourself. It's not something you force. No, you just come and it just comes out smoothly like that. That's passion. So, like I was saying, I'm going to come back to my original point where I said we are operating in a society, in a setting that does not, it doesn't encourage many youths to discover their true potential, to discover their passion. Why? Because most of the things we do are reactive in nature. We see something and react to it. It's not us that set the pace. No, it's society that sets the pace, and most of us react to that and go by that, which in one way or another stifles one's ability to discover their true potential and ultimately, consequently, kills their passion, because there are very many 70-year-old good actors that didn't act.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
because sometimes you didn't get the opportunity. Sometimes
even the demands from society. Because, like I said, we react to society. We don't set the standards in society. We react to what society.
And when you go against the society, you become a rebel. They rebel against you. You seem to be a spoiled child, which should be changed. And somebody starts judging you. But as you're the youth now, I believe for you are above that level now. Probably you're exposed that you are able to even present yourself out there that yes, much as the society demands this from me, I am able to be who I am, and which is good. Otherwise, we appreciate you guys, and it's a great pleasure, the youth out there. Subscribe to our page, YouTube channel, subscribe. To my YouTube channel. Hit them, as she says, hit the subscription bar so that you can be able to see such kind of things that can inspire your young child there, your youth, your friend, your sisters, or whatever, so that you can be able to make the world a better place for each and everyone, or to help our youth out there who are able to take up the mantle. And I'm very happy that these highly qualified youth that have already started the journey. Starting the journey is now, and they have already started the journey. Creating value in society. Like as I was asking her, what have you done in your own society? Just her talking about whatever she's gone through has already made a lot of tremendous changes to you out there. So let's do our best in the communities we are in. Let's do our best to make sure that everybody is inspired. Pauline, your brand. How long have you been with your brand? And what do you think the brand will be in the next few years?
I've been with my brand 4 months now, selling out nicely. I think in a year or two, I'll be able to export to big countries, major countries. So I really have great expectations, though I am not blind to the fact that anything can happen and then there is a plot twist. So I just started out, and I think so far it's going on well, and I just hope it continues, because I always pray about it here. Prayer, guys, prayer. You need to be a prayer warrior. Yes.
Thank you so much. That's great, and I'm glad that she started, as she said, she started her brand 4 months ago, and she must be, that's a COVID baby. Much as she said she had it in mind, but I know COVID-19 may have inspired her also to take up the mantle and make sure that this succeeds, because she thinks that with this COVID, if you remain the same guys, same mind, same thinking, with this COVID, you're not going to make it, isn't it? So COVID is good.
And bad too.
But to me, I say, I look for the opportunities in every bad, so that in every bad, something good emerges. Much as we have the COVID came up, I know there's something good that has emerged out of COVID-19. Because how we used to see things is not the same way we are seeing them here. The engineer to be, tell us, you're soon ending. How are you going to start a new journey in brief so that you can be able to conclude?
Like I said, my principles are 2. Be diverse in whatever you know. Play your part. Update your mind. Make sure you equip yourself with the relevant and necessary information, because without that, you can't be able to scan society and be able to find opportunities.
Great. Thank you so
Those
much. Once again, avoid the three poisons: greed, anger, and foolishness. Once you avoid greed, wishing everything for yourself, anger, accepting anger to rule you in whatever you do, to dictate your life, then you're bound to fail. And last but not least, foolishness stroke ignorance. They are already out of ignorance because they're in school, so they're trying to fight that. So once you fight ignorance, with making sure that every day you improve yourself, that every day you become better, as a youth, I am sure that once we get rid of greed, anger, and foolishness, we are able to do the greatest in this world and the ultimate goal, to be happy no matter the situation we're in. Thank you and all the best.